Mr. President, I rise today in opposition of Linda McMahon's nomination to serve as the Secretary of the Department of Education. All across America, from small towns like Grand Marais to cities like Grand Rapids, public schools serve as the bedrock of our communities. As a product of Michigan public schools, the son of a public school teacher, and having watched my own 3 children attend public schools, I know firsthand the importance of public education. Education is the cornerstone of academic achievement, career development, and lifelong learning in our society. A strong public education system is critical to not only our nation's economy, but community safety, social mobility, and the health of our democracy. We need a Secretary of Education who values and respects public education and the millions of teachers and faculty who support the system. We need a Secretary of Education who will support critical funding streams like Head Start for early education, IDEA for students with disabilities, and the school meal program that ensures that no student goes to class hungry. That is why we cannot allow Mrs. McMahon to run our Department of Education. Instead of working to protect funding for the programs that support our students, improve classrooms, and help recruit the hardworking teachers that we so desperately need today, Mrs. McMahon has made it clear that she has, well, other priorities. During her committee hearing, she blatantly supported efforts to dismantle our education system, including taking funding away from our public schools and using it to make investments in private schools. Mrs. McMahon and others have tried to sell this as, quote, school choice, but we know that it is basically a voucher program that will ultimately give private schools the ability to handpick students and close their doors to everyone else. Private schools have no requirement to serve students with disabilities, students with mental health needs, or homeless students. We've already seen private school voucher programs fail in states that have actually implemented them, like Louisiana, where students who accepted vouchers experienced significant declines in their academic performance, worse than learning loss caused by the COVID-19 pandemic and Hurricane Katrina. So-called school choice does not meet the needs of our students, and American voters overwhelmingly agree. A 2024 poll found that less than a quarter of Americans support increased funding for school vouchers. Meanwhile, 68% of Americans want to boost public school funding to better support teachers and give our students and children the education and career opportunities that they certainly deserve. Under Mrs. McMahon's plan, we would be letting private schools decide who is educated and who is not. But unfortunately, we know that these private institutions will always prioritize their bottom line, and the needs of students and families will be second. If confirmed as Secretary of Education, the quality of our American education will certainly decline, and our children will ultimately suffer the consequences. I would urge my colleagues to vote no on Mrs. McMahon's nomination.